Hi everyone, how we doing? Okay, so as promised, a little tutorial on how to make a simple surgical mask. We're going to be making lots for our healthcare workers that are on the front lines. There's an outside of the mask, an inside of the mask, something to help keep the nose contained and something to keep it on your head. So this is the end goal. Cute little mask. It's got some pleats. It's got a slit inside to put a disposable filter in, elastic loops for your ears, and after you wear it, you can pop it in the washing machine, bring it out the next day, and it's ready to go. And you can always put another disposable filter on the inside for a little extra protection. You need to use 100% cotton or 100% polyester. Cotton helps you breathe, but the benefit of polyester is that, as we know, polyester is made out of plastic, so it's really good at wicking away moisture, which can take the airborne particles and prevent them. It's just an extra layer of barrier from the outside. So as I mentioned, Smythe graciously donated a ton of fabric to the cause. So then the inside, what we're going to use is 100% cotton because it'll allow it to breathe right next to the nurse or doctor's face or your own personal face. So what I've done is I've just used a light color, lightweight broadcloth, and it looks like this. It's very, very thin. It's gonna be easy to sew with. And basically we have these two different fabrics and we're gonna cut them into two different rectangles. So your fabric that's nice and shiny and bright and whatever you want it to be, on the outside, you're gonna cut into a rectangle that's 9 by 7 inches. Super easy. Then on the inside, you're gonna take your lightweight cotton broadcloth or whatever you have on hand, even t-shirt fabric will work, just make sure that it's cotton, and you're gonna cut it into a little 7 by 5 square. Okay, the trick is, on the inside is that you wanna cut 2 of them. Okay, that's important. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've cut all of the rectangles for both the inside and the outside and all of our fabrics. Got them all right here. So for the next material, what you need is pipe cleaners. We're gonna use them to make sure that it stays tight on our nose. These are 6-inch ones. You can get longer ones and cut them. I've cut a bunch of elastics and they're gonna be used for our ear loops. I cut these to 9 inches. There's gonna be 2 different ways that I show you how to attach the elastic. This one's gonna be sewn right in, and then the other one, which is adjustable, feeds right through. So we'll go through that in construction. Let's get started. So first step, super easy. We're gonna take our 2 pieces of white cotton and we're gonna press them down at the top 1/2 inch. Doesn't have to be perfect, don't measure. This is gonna come out 1/2 inch. Super easy. We're gonna take our 2 panels that we just pressed down at 1/2 inch and we're gonna stitch them down. Okay, so super easy. You do not need to back tack. It's just wasted time because it's all gonna be stitched in anyways. Line. So what you're gonna have is like this. Okay, you've got your seam allowance on the outside, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our outside fabric. This is the long 9-inch length, and this is the 7-inch. What we're gonna do is we're going to attach these 2 panels to the long length, so the 9-inch length. So what you wanna do, lay it down with the outside of the fabric facing up. So what we wanna take is our white rectangle with the seam allowances on the outside, and we're gonna have that face up as well. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna center it along the 9-inch length. And what you're gonna do now is you're gonna stitch it down at 1/2 inch. It's gonna look something like this. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna do it the exact same to the other side. Once again, no need to back tack. You're just doing this fast. I've got all of my fabrics put together on the insides, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the pipe cleaner in. So take your pipe cleaner, choose one side or the other, it doesn't matter for the top, and what you're gonna do is sandwich it between the seam allowances. So I like to put it in here, fold it over, and then stitch it down. Usually I'll stitch all the way from the end, and it'll be about 1/4 inch. So you can see that it's stitched down. On this side I use contrast stitching just so you can really see. Super easy, okay? And now we're gonna go back with this. We understand that this is the top now because it's gonna form fit around your nose, and we're gonna press our pleats in place on the iron. So let's take our panel And what we want to do is we want to take the part that has the pipe cleaner and put it at the top. Okay, and now we want to make sure that our top piece goes underneath the bottom flap. Okay, so there should be a little bit of an overlap. It should be about 1 inch, and that's where your disposable filter is going to go in. So now we've got our bottom panel on top, and we're going to flip it around. Now we're going to pleat. We want to leave about 1/2 inch at the bottom, and first pleat is going to go towards you. So think of the water rolling over top of each other. So we're going to come in, it's going to go down, and this is where an iron is super key. If you're using 100% cotton, this part's going to be really easy for you because cotton presses really well as a staple fiber. Alternatively, if you are using polyester on the outside, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. I mean, ironing plastic, it's a no-brainer. But you want to separate your pleats so that they basically come in on the side and it equals about 3 inches. Pleat the second one. Please remember, this does not have to be perfect. Nobody's marking you on it. It's about function, not fashion. Okay. So now we've got this beautiful thing. It's gonna be pink on the outside, and then we've got our white on the inside. You can see that my seam on the inside where the filter is gonna go is gone. So when it accordion's open, that's where you can put the filter inside. But in the inside, the cotton is still gonna be against your face. Next step, we are going to put a stay stitch in the seam allowances of the pleat. So at the top and the bottom, you're going to just stitch in the seam allowance about 1/4 inch. It can just be a loose, no back tack or anything. And you just want to make sure that when you feed it into the sewing machine that the pleats are facing towards you. Then your feed dogs don't bring them up and mess them up. It'll look something like that. Next step, we're going to fold our seam allowances down 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch again. It's going to create a tunnel for our elastic. So give it a nice hard press, because the harder you press it right now, the easier it will be to facilitate at the machine. You won't need any pins or any of that. Okay, so we've got 1/2 and 1/2, and this is what it looks like, and then we're gonna stitch right down on that line and create our tunnel for our elastic to go through. Now we're gonna stitch down our tunnels at about 1/2 inch. Make sure that you have the white side facing up. It's a lot easier to know where your seam allowances are rather than blindly sewing this way. One thing you really want to make sure is that you back tack. This is where the pressure of the mask is going to go. So if anything's going to ever rip, this is where it is, because the elastic's pulling and pressure. Okay, now we've got stitches on each side, back tacked. Last step, we're going to take the elastic and we're going to feed it through the tunnel. So I just use a small little safety pin, put the elastic through the end, and the trick is to feed it from the bottom because it just helps with the direction of the pleats. All right, so then it's gonna come through. You can detach the safety pin and then just put a knot between your 2 elastics. So the biggest thing is that you wanna make sure it's not like a shoelace knot. It's going to be pull with 2 fingers. Now, we've got our knot on the outside. Doesn't look very nice, but what we can do is just slide that right in to our seam allowances, and it'll be like nobody saw it. We did it! Got our mask put together. Just a friendly reminder, we've got this great little pocket in the inside where we can put our disposable liner. I've made just one out of actually our fusing fabric that we use in our waistbands. So this is a non-woven fabric. It's the same kind of fabric that is used in hospital gowns, so it's perfect to block out the particles. You can also use a vacuum cleaner bag. It's a great option if you have some of those on hand. So you'll just pop this into the little slit and bada boom, bada bing. I hope this is just an easy step-by-step. It's not rocket science. It's something simple and giving back to the community when we need it the most. Questions, comments, concerns, all of the above. If you want to help out, let me know. Thanks.